Hello and welcome to Front Row Racing. The guys are just in the lobby. I'm Front Row Racing RI and we have the boy 5 times and commentary with us. How you doing?
I'm very well. It's nice to be back after a little bit of a hiatus. But yeah, good. Should be a good fun race to watch, and yeah, I'm just here to provide you with some support and see what I can see, and hopefully it'll be a good race to watch.
But I have information that the Williams have they've won the constructors title with there are 239 points ahead with only 215 points available.
Okay. See you in a sec. I'll see you in a sec. I'll see you in a sec. Alright, see you after.
So we're just waiting.
We're just waiting, are we?
Yeah. Let's see what I think it is. Dom's internet's gone, he's saying hold it, so he's I've got no way of speaking to Dave now. I'm pressing the wrong buttons. I'm pressing my wheel instead of my remote here. So, what have you thought of the racing so far? Have you seen any of it?
It's been good. I've seen quite a bit of it actually. I've not watched many live, but I have seen quite a few of them. And I tell you what, if I was to pick a couple of favourites, I'd put Spa up there. I think it was action from start to finish. There was incidents left, right, and centre. Of course, Kev having his own troubles, and so did Dave as well. And so it was actually, it was really, really good. And if we could have something like this today, every time I seem to, that was one I actually watched live, every time I seem to watch one live, it always seems to be a really good race, so maybe, hopefully today it's a bit of an omen that today could be really, really good. So we'll see about that, and hopefully it will be a good race.
Hopefully. And who would you think of up in the top 3?
Predicting top 3 for today?
Yeah. Can't wait till after qualifying and see.
Top 3 for qualifying. To be honest with you, I think it's pretty difficult to look past the 2 Williams drivers. Kev and Dave, of course, are very, very strong. Doesn't matter which track it is, they always seem to be very, very good. Bartman, I know he had a strong outing in Japan as well, so of course he's one to look out for, and he's back racing today with us. Dom, he's been, after Kevin Dave, obviously the most consistent. So between those 4, to pick 3, I'd say in any order. In any order, I'm not to pick the actual top 3. I'm gonna say Dave beats Kev today. I'm gonna say Dave beats Kev. It'll be Williams 1-2. It'll be Dave beating Kev and Dom rounding off the podium for Lotus. If I had to pick that top 3, but maybe Kev gets pole.
It's interesting to. I know Stocky he's not long in, but he's been one of the dark horses, and somebody's gone again, and it's Dom.
Yeah, of course he finished 3rd in Japan, was it? He ran off the podium, so yeah, he's, I know we got a couple of penalties with that as well. I think if I just get, I'm just going to go onto the Facebook now and just get the race report up. Yeah, he got, what is it, 15?
Yeah.
15 seconds worth of penalties, but So obviously I think he finished second on the road, but with his time penalties it made a bit of a difference. So if he keeps it clean, maybe he could be an outside. But again, I think maybe taking into consideration that 1 or 2 cars will probably drop out through collisions and stuff, and maybe first corner incidents. I'm sticking with my prediction. I'm satisfied with the choice that I've made.
We were supposed to have a guy called Temp Fearon, and I think he came on a podium last week as well. I can't remember, did he win it? I'm not too sure. He done well, so but if he was in, I'd think they would push Kevin, Dave and Dom for the podium, but who would I say? I don't know. I think Dom might have the better if he gets in the lobby. I think he'll have the better one. I don't know why, but I reckon.
If talking about the season, I think perhaps one of the surprises for me is probably Jamie James and how off he's been. Considering if you look back at the form he was last season, so where he is in the table at the moment, probably not where he'd expect him to be. I know obviously it's a different game from last year and different factors, and obviously maybe not enough time to commit to enough practice as he did maybe last year, but I would have picked him perhaps to be the head Lotus driver ahead of Dom, but I'm not saying Dom's not better than James, but I think, if you look at last season, it was always Kev, Dave and James, the 3, but now obviously Dom's took that 3rd spot in the league, and maybe he's just trying to see the season out, and hopefully he'll come back stronger next year, and for his sake I do hope he comes back next year because he is a good driver to watch.
I'm not too sure if Jamie James has went on to the wheel. I know he was a pad user, and I know one of the drivers has went to a wheel, so I don't know if that's a issue he's having.
Could be. Just give me 2 secs, I'll be back.
Okay. I don't have a lineup of the championship.
Rearranging stuff by sell by date. I'll just to the outside. And found this one's good. I think the customers have been moving stuff around to find the freshest one.
Welcome to the Sochi Autodrome for today's qualifying session part.
Internet connection quality. You don't have the live stream going, do you, Pete?
What's that, sorry?
I just had a message saying that the internet quality was low, not able to do the live stream to see if it's disappeared. If not, I'll restart the live stream.
Right. I can try and... I need to log in, I think. Right, championship, just taking on the thing. Do we have display message to spectators comment on?
No.
No.
No, just seeing if the live stream is still working, although it said internet.
Hang on, let me just have a look. Have you still got it on?
Yeah, I've still got it on. I might have stopped, so I'll probably just do a quick stop.
Says offline.
Right, does it? As it came back up.
No, not yet. Do you want me to try?
Yeah, if you want, I'll just remember to put, it says on here, mine, it says it's on here, it's not Twitch, we're on YouTube.
Oh, that might be right.
Well, I'll go with the commentary, well, if you never know it.
Hang on, let me just get, I need to get the link, hang on. Right, it's live.
Okay. I need to... Hello and welcome to Front Row Racing World Championship Russian Grand Prix. I'm Front Row Racing RI, and on the commentary box with me we have the boys 5 times. How you doing?
Hello everyone. Yeah, very good, very good.
Good. I've just seen the weather forecast, heavy cloud followed by possible showers.
Yeah, it does look quite overcast when you come just on board Jamie James. The minute you can see in the skies, very, very overcast. I think that obviously might mean a drop in track temperature, a little bit less grip. Air temperature's 20, track is still 37, and it is actually reducing. So, 10 minutes from now. So I think maybe the best time to get a lap in will be right at the very end of the session, with the track temperature slightly more up, which obviously means more grip. So we'll see at the moment of the order, and see how it goes from there.
Yeah, and this track's quite slippery just without the wet weather. Do you think that'll get even worse if it does start?
Well, because it's a racetrack that's not very used often in any form of motorsport. Of course, there's only been one F1 race here. It's still quite a green track, so grip levels will always be quite low, and especially with it being technically like a street circuit, you're not going to see very, very quick lap times, and it will feel quite slippy out there, especially on the braking and in some of the corners. As I'm just watching Jamie James as he brakes for that at the end of that long curvy straight, because the braking zone starts sort of semi-turn. There's difficult braking when you're turning as well, so it's little elements like that that make this track such a good track to race on, but also very, very difficult to race on. So, you know, we'll see how it goes, and hopefully it'll still be a good race, and yeah, who knows, might be a different little bit of a shake-up of the usual in terms of race results.
And just looking in first place we've got Front Row Racing GP.
I did say it'd be a shake-up.
And then followed by Front Row Racing DP, Stocky, Jamie James, then Mulrine. A few drivers out. I do know that Overdye King does have a quali ban, so he will start from the back of the grid.
I'm just watching. Sorry to interrupt. I'm just watching James Hulkenberg. He's just gone purple in the second sector. I've just seen the end of his lap now. I'm not sure if Ray's watching it.
Yep, I'm on him.
He was 2/10. He was 2/10 down in the first sector, but third place still. Not bad lap from the Ferrari driver.
And
Of course,
sorry,
we missed Kev.
Is Kevin up to first? Yeah.
Kev's gone up to first by 0.6 of a second. Didn't see the lap, but you can tell it was a good one.
Do you think the times will come in the first lap after your warm-up lap, or do you think maybe?
I think later on. I think very near the end of the session. It's predicted to be around 39 degrees track temperature. At the minute, it's only 37, so it's not. It's only 2 degrees, but you know, for what this sport's like, a few degrees here, a few hundredths of a second there, makes all the difference. And it does actually look like the sky's clearing a little bit now, so I think maybe the threat of rain for qualifying's gone.
And, I mean, do you think you would take 2 laps to get your tyres up to temperature in a good lap time, or do you think just that one would be enough?
The track temperature's not drastically down, so I think the tyre temperatures will go up fairly quickly. I suppose it's always a bit difficult to sort of predict when you're like us two on the outside looking in and trying to know how the tyres are reacting. Only the drivers themselves will probably be able to know that one. I haven't actually seen anyone do 2 flying laps on the tyres. Looks like James Hulkenberg's out of fuel low, so maybe he did do 2 laps, but I'm not sure, I didn't see it. But I've not actually seen anyone carry on and go for another lap. We're on board with Dave, looks like he's on an out lap, so we'll keep an eye on.
There is, for the people watching, if there is messages, I might try and get to them at the end if we've got time. I can't do the messages just now.
I can read the messages. Just a couple of people saying evening. Just a good evening to X Jim Penman. Hi lads, FRRGP for top 3. Well, he was, and he still is at the minute. He's in third. Stocky's gone quickest by 0.08 of a second, so he's beat Kev for provisional pole at the moment.
I know this track isn't one of Front Row Racing DP's favourites. As he told me when I was in a wee sessions to see how the track is I don't race in the league anymore, and I've not played Russia, so he said that it's not one of his favourites, and I found it very slippery, so the guys are doing well to keep it on the track.
Indeed they are. It's just watching GT5 King at the moment and see if he can match the pace of his teammates. I think it'd be interesting, especially with him up in there in 3rd place and GT at the moment in 10th, so I'll keep an eye on that. If you have got any messages on YouTube, I can, nothing rude though guys, I can read them out for you. Have you got any questions or anything like that?
Ask the boy 5 times instead of ask Croft there.
Hashtag ask the boys, I've just put that in there.
I'm just watching Dave come in to the end of his timed lap, currently sitting 5th. I don't know what the sector times have been yet so far. I've not went onto that screen. Try and keep on the drivers as much as possible.
Interesting to note. I'm not sure you can a lot of
the wee white mark.
It's obviously not flying debris. Yeah, it looks quite a dirty track, but they've just gone quicker, so can't say I'm surprised. I did predict him to win, but I didn't predict him for pole, so at the moment could be the reverse of what I said.
GT5 King back in the pits. Well, it showed me I'm back
Yeah,
in the
he had the ball first sector. He was 1.2 seconds down. So I think he's just called it quits and put another fresh set of boots on and try again with 4 minutes to go.
Front row racing GP is currently sitting 4th. I think he's in the 1st sector. Yep, a 34. Do you see? 34.
And Kev's just started his final lap. There's a car coming off the pits, but I'm sure that car will get out the way. So of course that means Steve's down to 4th with his namesake grabbing provisional pole. So he's on a flying lap now at the moment. Fantastic first sector time, only a tenth down on his brother, so keep an eye on this one.
Yep.
34.5 in the middle sector. He's down though by probably around half a second.
Probably tried a different setup for this one. Is he gonna? Nope.
He's got 2 corners to go. Very wide entry to the second last. Nicely on the exit though. Just touches the apex on the last and nice on the curve. But he didn't improve though. He stays 4th.
Try to see. Money, he's had a good time in the midfield. He's just coming out of pits, so I won't go on him. Sorry, on you go.
Yeah, I touched earlier on when we first started broadcasting about James and how disappointed he'd be and how I expect him to be. I think Mornay's probably in that same category as well, but I know he's missed a lot of races and he's got other things going on, so he hasn't got the time to practice no more. It's a shame because I think he was one of those who always had the potential to do something special in front row racing, and at the moment it's not quite lived up to that hype.
I remember seeing him close up the midfield to top last season. I think I raced a few races last season, and I had a couple of battles with Money as well. But
yeah, like I said, he's one of those who's got flashes of brilliance, but just hitting that brilliance every single race just doesn't seem to happen for him. And I know he's been involved in a couple of collisions and things that haven't gone in his favour, but you know, if you put the time into practice, then you've got obviously a better chance of doing well. And I think maybe a lack of practice is the reason for that inconsistency in front row racing.
Yeah, that's why I pulled out, because I couldn't practice as much, and I didn't feel it was to turn up for a race and I've not had any practice. I didn't have a setup. That was just a disaster waiting to happen, so
I was just say with myself as well. I think other things just going on. Just really quickly, Kev's got 2 corners to go. He was a little bit untidy at the beginning of the 3rd sector, but he's matching Dave's time. Can he beat his teammates? He doesn't improve, he stays in 3rd, so that could be his final lap as well. There's only 40 seconds left unless he's going to go again. And Steve's had a poor 1st sector, so he's not going to improve on his 4th place. James is pitting, so his qualifying's over. Bartman in 6th at the moment. There's no overtaking at all.
no, he's a quali ban.
No, he's got a quality ban. Well, maybe the prediction for 3rd is a bit wrong. Dave's just gone over the line to start a flying lap, so both Williams, it's a shootout. Stocky in there as well, but he's 2 tenths down in the 1st sector, so he's got it all to do.
Yep, as it throws us out the pits. That pit lane closed for us.
Just want to keep an eye on Stocky. I think Stocky's got to be the one who's going to cross first out of any of them. I know Kev's just ahead of him on the road actually, so it'll be Kev who's going to cross first.
He's currently sitting 3rd.
At the moment it's Dave, Stocky, And then Kev. 3/10 between them before these laps.
Well, that looked as if Stocky lit up the rears coming out that corner by Kev.
He's matching Kev on the road, but
Kev second on its.
Kev's got second. Stocky. I don't know if he's improved or not.
No, it's skipped to Batman.
We're on board, Dave. He's got 5 corners to go. He's got the chicane and the 2 right-handers to go. I think he might just pit. There's no one who can really challenge him for pole. Since Stocky and Kevin, he is going to pit, so Dave keeping the pressure on Kevin, the World Championship. There's only 9 points between them. A win here will do Dave the world of good.
Yep, came back into the pits.
So that is qualifying officially over.
So once I get the list up, I'll go through it. So you've got your team in. Well, it's just finished. Is it FSR?
Yeah, Formula Sim Racing World Championship.
How much
racing team?
How much is it a difference to this? Is it quite a big difference?
Yeah, it's there's console racing and there's sim racing. There's the main difference between console games is that when they make a game, as much as we wanted to try and be as realistic as possible, what we've got to try and remember is that they're trying to attract the target audience that also attracts children. I mean, the Peggy, is it Peggy 3? F1 2015. So obviously Peggy 3 is for 3-year-olds and over, so it's basically saying, you know, you're targeting an audience that a 3-year-old could do it. It sounds a bit sort of complex. There's less grip in sim racing. There's you know, everything's on edge. We've got everything's done by teamwork, testing. We've got race engineers. I mean, you name it. And going into the season, it's something that I wanted to do for a while. And going into the season, it was just, you know, it's our first season. Let's just see how it goes. But to finish 3rd overall in the World Championship, and one of our drivers to finish 3rd overall in the Drivers' Championship is, well, not short of miraculous, to be quite honest, considering that even though the people that are part of our team have done it before, we've never done it before together, and it was my first real sort of experience at doing it, and it was just one of those sort of fairy tale experiences, if you like, where everything just seemed to, it was just, we were surprising ourselves of how competitive that we were, and everything just trying to find that pit window, every little detail as well, just trying to find that pit window of when to pit, and you know, how long, you know, just to fit back into, it was every little aspect you could think of racing. And it's probably, to those who wish to work in F1, I'll let you do your thing, start and
Here we go, 5 lights, and here we go, and just let them go out, and then retire from session. Yes, let's see, the big braking point isn't until turn 2, so get on the front, move front through. Oh, there's somebody lost a wheel. Oh, somebody's lost a wheel. Jamie James. Overdrive kinks up. Who's in first? Dave's in first, Stocky second. Batman's challenging.
Batman's up to 4th.
He's challenging Kev. Here we go. It's going to be tight for the first couple of laps while the drivers settle down into a rhythm. Well, I don't know, do they settle down to a rhythm or do they just keep pushing and pushing? Kev looks like he's wanting Stocky, he's wanting to get that place, not give too many points to Dave.
Well, you can say it's just the first lap, but for Stocky to get ahead of Kev, it's a huge boost for Dave in the World Championship fight. Oh, but he's made a mistake and Stocky's took the lead.
Stocky. Now, will Kev challenge Dave into the next braking zone?
Dave
gonna be-
just probably had a little bit too much fuel, just a little bit lackadaisy going into the corner. He drifted wide and Stocky went up the inside and took the lead. Kept sliding round. Of course, track is very overcast, which means the temperature's down. It's just Stocky's got the gap and Kev's all over Dave now.
And so's Batman, he's hanging in there. He's looking for, if they make contact, Batman's on the inside. Contact! Oh, they've touched the wall. Is Dave's lost the front wing? I can't see Batman, where's Batman gone? Batman's no front wing, he's going the wrong way around the track. What's he doing?
Wow.
Go back up to the front, we've got Stocky first, Kev second, and Dom's in third place.
Bartman's been disqualified.
I'll be driving the wrong way on the track. GT5 King fourth, is that? Yep. And we've got a Ferrari, I can't get on him, it's Dave the Harp. He's sitting fifth. Front row racing DP in sixth, but he's lost a wing.
So it looks like Steve, James, somewhere on that first turn, got together. Because James lost a wheel, so he was out straight away. Steve's had to go into the pits. That's the Harp into fifth.
Where's James Hulkenberg? We've lost James Hulkenberg, haven't we?
I can't see him on my screen.
He's not
one of the options to pick.
Oh, Kev went wide. Has he got some damage? I can't see. I know if you lose the end plate, you can struggle quite a lot just by the wee end plate. So.
At the moment, Stocky's pulling the gap at the moment though, and looks like to be going unchallenged by Kev.
Now,
So it'll be interesting to see. I didn't see the collision between Dave and Bartman.
Batman at the last corner, Batman went up the inside and they both they both touched. So
Was it a racing incident, or I didn't see it, so no.
I couldn't tell you. I just got from the angle. It looks like a racing incident. It's like surprised he was there, but we'll see.
Kev looks to be definitely struggling, whether it's set up for the track temperature or struggling to keep eating the tyres. He's definitely not comfortable out there. Dom's closing in on Kev and Stocky's pulling away. Maybe it might just take him a couple of laps just to maybe get into it and sort those tyres out. It is cold, so. And yeah, Arizor, Jamie James out, Bartman out, DP without wing, eventful first lap it was indeed. Just going to go back and try and see what happened between Bartman and Dave. Because I was on board with Kev, so I watched Kev pass Dave and then just couldn't flick it back in time.
And Dom's ever so close over Dike, or well, it looked as if he was close. I don't know if he's just lost the traction out the last corner.
That just looked a bit. Just looked a bit like handbags, that one between Dave and Bartman. It's one of those, you go up the inside, it was opportunistic. Just going to watch it again. Of course, Dave knows his teammates there, so it compromises his exit on the next corner, but Bartman does get alongside. I can't say because the onboard the Bartman, you don't get on board Bartman to see like if he just, didn't brake or whatever, but two of them tangle wheels and then into the road together, into the wall, sorry. And Bartman was just going backwards. I don't really understand what that was all about.
I think he was trying to see if he could sneak back to the pits. Didn't want to do a lap with no front wing. But that's gonna just get you disqualified. I think it was it Bahrain? Somebody get disqualified because the way they turned their car round to get back onto track was against the traffic. But they were off track and the game disqualified them.
In the meantime,
I'm just watching.
Sorry,
I'm just watching on board Dom, and well, I'm watching Dom with Kev at the moment. He's not. I thought he would keep catching him, but he seems to have got to that bit of the dirty air that he can't get that close.
And ahead of them, Stocky just took another 2/10 out. It just took another 2/10 off Kev. Oh, sorry, I should say added 2/10 onto Kev. So the gap now 4 seconds, and it's been consistently going up. Racing about 5 to 6 tenths a lap. He's just took another 10.5. So it's 4.1 seconds now, and that gap is growing. So Kev at the moment doesn't have the answers, and with his teammate, I think there's only 7 cars left, so they will, if he keeps going, at least score 6 points. But on 18 points at the minute, it's another 12 points he could take out. But with your teammate down that far, you need to take every opportunity you can get. And at the moment, he doesn't seem to be making an impression on that lead. And he's just lost another 2/10. Stocky out there is flying at the moment. And you were right about Stocky. He said to me in the pre-race, just keep an eye on him. And I dismissed it and said, no, I'm sticking with my top 3.
And would Kev be just going that, preserving his tyres? Just try and cut a stop out, do you think?
Yeah, of course, that's always a possibility. Maybe he's on a different strategy, so maybe he knows that he needs to compromise now. He has just gained a 10th in the final sector just then. Maybe he's thinking to himself, you know, I know my strategy and I'm sticking to it. And this is what I have to do at this phase of the race, just to, you know, stick to my strategy and not sort of let the emotions get the better of me and thinking, I know I can catch him, You sort of got to just put that out of your mind and stick to what you know will get you your optimum strategy. But and Dom's dropping back now as well, so Kev's got a bit of breathing space, so maybe the pressure of Dom behind him was distracting as well a little bit. But now that he's got to regain that focus and stick to the race he's got planned.
Yeah, and Dom seems to struggle out the last corner. It's as if he's lighting up the back. Oh, Morning's left the session as well. So I don't know if that's an internet connection or is it trouble.
That only leaves us with 6 cars. Monaco 1996.
Have a wee watch of Dom and see what it looks like in his traction out of corners, because it did look as if he was what we would call up in Scotland skittery out the corner.
I think James Hulkenberg is still in this race because it's showing Steve up in 7th. Dav the Harp's in 5th. Dave's in 6th. So I think 4th place? Or is it GT5 King and 4th? Yeah, it's GT5 King, sorry. So there is no... We everyone just wonder where James Hulkenberg went, and we've got a couple of people watching, cheering on Stocky, who's in the lead at the moment, and upsetting the Apple car, so to speak, at the moment, keeping in front. And I think another way of looking at it is that I think maybe, you know, this is what the league needs. I mean, we have had different race winners apart from Kevin Dave, but you know, for someone new to come in and be able to challenge those at the top, it is good to see, because you know, one thing we don't want is the league just to become, oh, it's a fight between just 2 drivers. And I know obviously the championship is only going to go to one of those 2 drivers, but you know, it bodes well for next season. You know, someone else other than these 2 can win a race, and you You know, I know it's early days, I know it's only lap 7, but there's still 20 laps to go, and you know, you can never, ever, it's never over till it's over, as they say, so it'll be interesting, hopefully, and you know, just for the sake of the league, and obviously I know that Kev and Dave have a lot of fans out there who obviously support them because you know, Kev's quite does a lot of tweeting and Dave does a lot of streaming, so they get their fans from there. But you know, for someone like Stocky, if he was to do it, even though the gap is closing, I just want to point that out. Maybe the tyres are starting to go off, maybe Stocky's gone, or maybe Stocky's on a slightly different strategy, maybe he is doing 2 stops and you know, he's hammered the tyres. And I think this Kev's starting to close in now.
Is it? I'll just jump on board.
It was 4.2 last time I checked, and it's 3.6, so only 6/10 difference, but you know,
You
still
can
a gap that's
see his
closing.
course. See his course visually, and I'm sorry to hear.
2.6, he's just took 1 second out of the first sector alone.
So good Stocky be going in for a pit this lap.
Could be, and Dom still in 3rd, but he is dropping back from these 2.
But then if Kev gets up behind Stocky and they start battling, it can bring time back to Dom. So
I think though, maybe if it is a 2-stop race, this is the window to pit now, so if one of these 2 is on a 2-stopper, we might not get to see that battle. Although they might both be on a 2-stop, but I don't know, I'm not entirely 100% clued on what the optimal strategy is here, so I'm not sure if 1 or 2 stops is the way to go.
nah,
We'll see now. Stocky's going to carry on, and so is Kev, so at least 1 more lap.
I don't know how many laps the guys like doing on the primes. I think it's about 10 they'll take them, 10 to 15 they take them to the maximum.
Yeah, don't forget, obviously they qualified on these tyres, so if you add another, and some of them, I think Kev done 2 laps, so if you add 2 laps onto that, there's 11 so far, just on this one set.
Is this a prime tyre or is this the option tyre for this track? I can't remember. I've not done my homework this week because I've been...
I think these are the soft tyres, the yellows.
yellow soft, so...
The whites are the hards, because Steve's on them, in 7th. So we've done 11 laps on these softs, so it's usually 130% more distance they can do, so if they've done 11, you're probably looking at about 14 laps. So if you can do 12, you're probably looking at about 15 laps. So at the moment, I think they're on target maybe for a 1-stop race. I think if they were on 2, they would have pitted by now, because you know, the tyre life of these is quite old. And but at the moment, I think Stocky sort of got it back together again. The gap's sort of steady at the moment. Kev's a little bit closer, another 2/10 from the last time we checked.
Seems to be, Stocky seems to be locking up that wee bit more. Is he going for the pits? Nope, he's going straight on. Now, if you were Kev, would you go for the undercut? And try and get
I think it's
that?
something you've got to think about, but if he is going to go for the undercut, he's got to make it pretty much last minute. But the advantage he has is that he'll be able to see Stocky whether or not he goes into the pit, so he can decide at that very last moment, yeah, I'm going to dive in now. I think this is the chance to do it. So if it is 1 stop, you're probably looking around lap 12.
And with the track not being that rubbery, then, and I don't think it's an aggressive track on the tyres.
Yeah, and of course less fuel as well, so on when you have the final set of tyres, which I can imagine will be the prime tyre, you know, the weight of the car will be less harsh, so the tyre life will last a little bit longer. So I think lap 12 will be optimal. If you're going to do an undercut lap 11, maybe 16 laps. Could be a bridge too far, but I think there's only one way to find out, and that's if somebody does pit and try and make an undercut. Have a quick flick further down. GT5 on his own in 4th. You can't see Dom, who's probably about Yeah, 25 seconds is the gap between GT5 King and Dom. I don't think GT5's pitted though, but...
No, is that not from the leader? So that'll be from Stocky, 25 seconds.
Oh yeah, so it'll be 17 seconds. Beg your pardon, that's my fault.
Is Stocky going in the pits? No, he's going round again. Kev's pitting.
Oh, Kev's pitting.
So he's...
Little side note at the back as well, Steve's catching after half for 6th place.
Kev nearly hit the pit wall as well.
I think on the broadcast, just stick with Kev's pit stop for the time being.
Same.
I'll try and keep you updated on the battle between those two.
I think that's Overdyke King in the pits as well.
Yeah,
But
Dom
it looks
pits.
as if Kev's went onto the same tyres. I'll wait till the end of the pit lane because it normally...
Kev's gone on to options again.
Wait to see out the pit lane, yep, that's... Sometimes it waits till you're out the pit lane and then goes, and Overdyke King,
Okay.
he's went primes.
Well, that answers the question. Kev must be doing 2 stops.
Sorry, GT5 King on to the primes. Front row racing DP coming down the start finish straight, and he's still on options. But he would have put a new set of boots on when he was getting his wing changed. He's came right behind GT5 King. So,
And I think if Stocky wants to keep his lead, he needs to pit now, unless he's going to try and push for that 1 stop.
I can't get on Dave the Harp, so I'll try Steve. No, I can't see Dave the Harp near Steve, so... Oh, he's down the straight, he's quite up.
Race leader pits, race leader into the pits.
Okay, I'll just get on board him.
I'll keep an eye on Kev. I'll keep an eye on where Kev is on the track. He's at the chicane.
Stocky's going on this like.
So
It looked like a set of utes, they're all rugged.
Kev's going into the last corner now.
Stocky's just getting
Down
past
the
the
pit
pit
straight.
limiter, he's lifted the pit limiter, he's going. He's coming round the wee kink in the... supposedly
close.
turn 1.
It's going to be close into turn 1. There's Kev, there's Stocky. Kev trying round the outside.
Oh,
But the
get pushed
Mercedes holds him
wing.
off. Stocky can't get the power down without sliding them up side by side. But Stocky does keep it. But Kev's
Yes.
going to be all over the back of him now because he's on the faster tyre. And he needs to clear the Mercedes quickly if he's to win this race and pit again to put the primes on, because he'll have to do, because he has not run the prime tyre yet.
No. And some of these broadcast camera views are a wee bit useless. Why they've put them in the game, I don't know. But as Kev comes, he's got a wee bit of gap. But do you think he'll wait for the DRS and use the DRS?
And just I think Bartman's questioning the commentary because he says, "Where's that ginger Andy?"
We don't know where he is. Kev's gone out round outside of Stocky, quite brave, round, and now he's got the inside. Stocky's got the outside. Oh, as he come down to second to last corner, Stocky's still keeping it out in front. Now, last corner, how's Kev going to fare with the traction out? He's got the power down. He's right behind Stocky, DRS. When it gets opened, it's a shame you don't get to see when the DRS is opened in this, but Kev's still not got past him.
Stocky's clearly got the straight line speed in that settle. And at the moment keeps the lead of this race, and we're almost at half distance.
Now Stocky has the option of going to the end on these tyres where Kev doesn't, so Dom, that could bring Dom in because he's on prime tyres as well, so if Kev does have to pit.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That's why I thought it was a bit strange that Kev did go onto the soft tyres, because you know these guys pitted end of lap 10. So even though 17 laps is probably a long way to go on the prime tyre, considering they went 10 on the softs, it's not impossible, and done qualifying on those soft tyres. So it did surprise me a little bit, but he's side by side again, and this time he does make it stick. I think.
No, Stocky's still hanging out there. They're still hanging. Now he's done it. Oh.
No, he has, but now it's important and imperative that Kev pulls away from that very, very fast in a straight line Mercedes, because into the second last corner, the long pitch straight's coming up with DRS.
I could see
Kev
him.
might struggle to hold him back here.
He's going defensive already. Well, taking a tighter into that turn 1, as they call it. Down into
Stocky
turn
got a
2.
poor exit on the final corner and it compromised him down the straight, and he couldn't get close to Kev. So that was a bit of a missed opportunity there for Stocky.
And when we come into the twisty sections, that's where Kev seems to be stronger. So
Exactly. So that's you could say it's over for at least another lap, but Stocky's got to stay close if he's to try and regain that lead, and at the moment he can't. But like we said, we know that Kev has to stop again. We don't know if Stocky has to. And Stocky stopped a lap later than everybody else, so he's got that little bit of extra tyre life. I think it's possible for him to go to the end on those tyres he's on. But it's up to Kev now to make the gap and make it happen. He will be faster towards the end, so we're not expecting the entire 20 seconds to come in this phase of the race. But after his final stop, because he'll be having a lot fresher tyres than Stocky, he can close the gap back up again when he comes out behind him. And maybe then, who knows. But importantly, I think he at least has to make the gap to Dom, because if he comes out behind Dom, I think that's race over for Kev and the chance of a win's gone.
yes. Go down the field since the gap seems to be sticking, which I'll go away, and the Mercedes power. No, he's had a poor exit. It looks rear wing went there. Rear end, sorry, sliding over the kink. He's 9 seconds away from the leader, so it's not that far away. And if he doesn't have to panic, we've got Front Row Racing DP in the pits. What's he got? He's got a set of primed ready for him.
He's going to the end on them.
But he's 20.
Those options that came off look absolutely horrible.
There go. Is that Dave the Harp that's just went past?
Dev the Harp and GT5 have just gone past, I think. So got a bit of work, but if he's to recover and finish in 4th, it would be a good effort considering, and probably limiting the loss of actually what happened.
Front Row Racing GP down in 7. He's 46 seconds behind the leader, so he's another 20 seconds away from Front Row Racing DP. So, was he involved in the start incident? I can't remember.
I think there was a few that started. I think Steve was involved somehow. All I seen of it was that James lost his front wing. Sorry, not front wing. He lost his wheels, so he hit someone. Steve had to pit. I think that's the half avoided it. James was involved somewhere. James Hulkenberg, that is. He was involved in some way, whether it was that corner or not, but either way he didn't make it past the end of the first lap. We've seen what happened with Dave and Bartman on broadcast. So we lost quite a few more and they lost connection. So yeah, it was quite an eventful first lap, to say the very least.
And Kez just pulled out. He's in he's 2.3 seconds ahead of Stocky, so he's got the hammer down. Although he's in the wrong team for it.
That's it. He's 11.2 seconds ahead of Dom. So at the moment, he's making enough progress to make the gap to Dom and come out in front of that Lotus. If he comes out in front of the Lotus, he's got a chance of winning. But again, we don't know if, you know, Dom and the rest of them, if they are going to go to the end, they could maybe be making 2 stops. So this is all speculation. But I suppose it's one of them without knowing the strategies. We can only talk about what we see. We can see that Dom, for example, is on prime, so we know he's used both sets, and it is possible to go to the end, whether he can keep the tyres lasting or not. We know Kev has to stop again, so this is what makes it sort of interesting to watch.
Yeah, and if these guys do stop again, they're going to have the options on at the end where Kev will have the primes. Dom's
pitting again. Oh, he missed the pit entrance.
He's gone round, he's done the right thing, he's went round again.
I was surprised he was, I'm not sure, to be honest with you, maybe the prime tyre is a horrible tyre to be on round here. It may just be that he thought, you know what, there's 10 laps left, I know I can do 10 laps on the options, let's just put the options on again and hope for the best. I've got the, just check the gap to GT5 King behind him.
Right behind.
GT5 King.
He's right behind Dave.
Down to half and 4th, GT5 in 5th, Dave in 6th, so there's 3 cars here for 4th. So yeah, Dom has got that chance to stop again and get out, still stay in 3rd place, so maybe it is a risk we're taking, we'll see about that. Dave's just passed GT5.
Yep, he's got there.
Oh,
Stocky's gone! Stocky's gone.
Well, that's a shame.
Yep. Oh, I'd like to see what happened at the end there.
That'll be race over now. All Kev has to do is just make sure he can last 10 laps and bring it to the end.
Let's have the...
that is a shame.
It's as if the internet's picking them off one by one. That demon.
The internet demon strikes again. You remember saying in F1 15 odd years ago, the biggest reason for not finishing an F1 race was engine failure. The biggest reason for not finishing a front row race is internet demons.
And Dave's front row racing DP, he's on the back of Dave the Hart. So I think front row racing DP, he'll have his car set up for the twisty section a wee bit more downforce. Well, I wouldn't say downforce, he'll be looking for that mechanical grip. I know he's one that would look for more mechanical grip than just stick on more aeros, where I don't do that much testing, I just stick on the aeros and still slide about everywhere.
I think the saving grace, we don't obviously want to see people leave, but if you were to talk about a World Championship fight, I think one saving grace is that these cars dropping out is that it is actually helping Dave and giving Dave enough points, because if Dave drops too far back, Kev's going to run away with it, and obviously from a spectator point of view, we want to see the championship go as long and as far as it can. Before today there was only 9 points in it. Kev's pretty much guaranteed the win here today. If Dave can finish 3rd, which he's only 1 place off doing at the moment, then it's still a lot of points to lose, 10 points, but it could have been a lot worse if drivers are still in this race and he could only pick up a 6th or a 7th. It's limiting the loss, even though he'll still be 19 points behind, it still keeps him in the championship fight, so it is one benefit of seeing the drivers drop out, I suppose, that the gap between the top 2 in the championship doesn't become too much and the championship ends earlier than we want it to.
Yeah, it keeps that excitement going, even when it comes down to the last race, like I think it did last season. It came down to the last race and it was between Kevin and Dave.
Again.
Yeah. Was it not Abu Dhabi?
The World Championship between
Is Abu Dhabi
it's Abu
not
Dhabi this time, yeah, but I think
yeah, it was Abu Dhabi last race, I'm sure. Last season. could be wrong. I can't.
Abu Dhabi was the last race last season. But did they wrap it up in Brazil? One race before.
No, it was
Sure, he
Kev.
won it in Brazil.
That was 2000.
Sorry, that was season 2. That was season 2. I think season. Yeah, it was 2013. You're right. My apologies on that.
I'm trying to remember how many races there is after here. Is it?
Well, we've got obviously Russia. We've still got Circuit of the Americas to go to. Mexico, Brazil, Abu Dhabi.
We've been to the circuit of. That's in Texas, isn't it? We've been there. So it'll be Brazil, Abu Dhabi.
Do we have a slightly different order from the official championship?
Yeah, we just onto the game and go to the first track, and then the next race is the next track.
So do we follow the champion calendar order? Can't remember.
No, we just follow what the game's order is, I'm sure.
The games order would be the official order, wouldn't it? I think.
Overdike Outpost is the fastest lap of the race. Let's come off.
Well, this is round 15. Circuit of the Americas is next. Mexico, Brazil, Abu Dhabi.
We've had Mexico as well.
I've missed a lot, mate. 7 laps to go. Is Dom making an impression on Kev? No, he's not. That's because he's pitted and he's 30 seconds behind. Having said that, we know Kev's got to stop again, so he'll gain at least 20 of those seconds.
No,
back.
Kev has pitted.
Oh, Kev has, but he hasn't.
No, he hasn't. Sorry, I thought he was on. I stand corrected. Sorry.
Yeah,
so
he's still got to run the prime, so he'll finish on the whites. And if you've got to pit, interesting to see when he does pit. Actually, you know, it's clear now. So obviously, to see if any World Series drivers are watching, clearly the prime tyre's not the tyre to spend too many laps on, because Kev's only going to spend 7 laps on them.
Kev's going on.
If anyone's watching, bear that in mind for tomorrow. Spend as long as you can on the options to the faster tyre to use in the race.
And Kev's onto the primes. It'll be Dom. He's just coming round to the pit entry, so
yeah, he's probably going to gain about 15 seconds, but he's not going to gain that much time.
But he's on the option tyres, so it's how bad are they warring? And no, because he missed the pit, but he missed the pit lane, so
he missed the pit lane, so that would have cost him a second or two. You have to go an extra lap, so that's probably another 0.8 of a second. And he's probably been on these laps, well, it was lap 17, so it would have been 18 when he stopped. So he's done 3 laps on these tyres. So they're off the peak of performance now. And they'll be in the peak for another 2 or 3 laps, and then. But I think his second place for Dom, he'll be really pleased with that.
Yep.
Especially, I think he made a mistake somewhere, because he's only gained about 2 seconds from Kev pitting. Still 26 seconds behind. Or is that just, I think it's a glitch actually, to be honest with you, how the timing screen.
I don't know if it's updated yet. We'll see when it goes round the next lap. And see if it updates. If it doesn't, then let's see.
Yeah, the sector 2's coming up. Oh yeah, it has updated, it's 9 seconds the gap. Big lock up from Dom there though. That wouldn't have helped them.
Front row racing DP, well, it says 47 seconds behind Kev, so, but still on the podium. And I wonder how Dom got through that incident, because he started from the back. If he was close to that, I bet his bum cheeks would have been clenched together.
Well, I did say this would be the top 3 in the race. Kev, Dom and James. Kev, Dom and Dave, sorry. I did have him in the order different to this, but you know, still a fine prediction.
GT5 King, and he's got Dave the Heart in Front Row Racing GP ahead of him. So GT5 King, is he pitted? Because how?
I think he did, because he went to primes and now he's on options again. So I think he's pitted again, and I think it's. He's been in the pits twice, once on the at the end of the first lap. He put the primes on and now he's on options, so he's been on the options for quite a while. So his tyres are older than his teammates, so I think he might have a struggle on his hands to keep him behind, especially in the last 6 laps. And Dav the Heart, I think he's only pitted once.
He's on options for what I can see. I can't get on board him. That's another one of
on the options. He's on the options. Oh, and Steve had a huge tank slap. He was lucky to keep that one out the wall. Just got too much power out of the corner and nearly put it in the wall. And it was that corner where the wall sticks out slightly on the exit of the corner, so that could have quite easily have ended disastrously for the Force India man. I think in the dirty area of the Ferrari as well is not helping. But he's got to run on Dav the Heart down the back straight.
DRS open. Yep, it is. It's showing you it's open. He's took the inside.
Oh, what a huge lock off from both of them, and
Dave the Heart
went straight on.
Got 5 laps to go. Who would you be putting down for driver of the day?
Driver of the day. I was tired to think of anyone who's not. At the moment, I think you've probably just got to say Kev again. You know, a lot of guys around him fell by the wayside. Stocky, very, very unlucky with his disconnection. Could have easily been driver of the day, but unfortunately, to finish a race first, you've got to finish. He hasn't done that. More than likely through no fault of his own, it has to be said. But those who do finish first, and at the moment Kev's on target to finish first, and kept his nose clean. Had a scruffy first few laps, but I think that can be overlooked to the he did actually pass him for the lead as well on track, that has to be said too, so he has earned the win of course. His teammates, first lap incidents, he's fought back well to finish third. Dom's had an amazing drive from the back, avoided loads of carnage, at the moment running second, but seemed to go no further than that, and just didn't have the pace today. But it's still a good race from Dom, has to be said. But yeah, you've got to give us the current championship leader once again in peak performance. Once again, looking like another race win to go his way.
And I'm just watching GT5 King. Sorry, phones went as well. It's wanting in the commentary. GT5 King, he's sitting behind Dave the Heart. He'll be trying to push to get past him. I think he's been here for about a lap since since Front Row Racing GP. He got past Dave the Heart when Dave the Heart put the big walk up and went straight on, where it was what driver was it? It crashed at that corner.
Which corner was this, sorry?
The Force India driver, was it Perez that had the big crash here in Russia?
I know Grosjean had one.
Did Grosjean have the one that went under the protect barriers?
Oh no, that was Carlos Sainz.
Was that Carlos Sainz? Oh, I've got the wrong person. So from that corner where Dave the Heart had locked up and went straight on, he said GT5 King behind him, but he's not made much of a pressure behind him. I'm trying to see where he's struggling. I think it's mainly on the straights. So that Ferrari just holding off the second Force India.
And just 3 laps to go in the World Championship leg of Russia. Kev just Very, very comfortable. Dom is closing from. Maybe Kev's trying to save some fuel or just get it to the end knowing he's got the gap. The gap is coming down and Dom's got the power down, so this race isn't quite over yet.
The harp took a wee bit.
In the first sector alone, if I tell you what, if you're in charge of broadcast cameras, switch it over to Dominic over Dyking. He is absolutely flying at the moment.
What turns this is on? I can't see what's coming into the. Is it the final sector he's in?
I tell you what, I will make this point. You mean you look at it used to be said about Finland. It's a country that's only got a population of 5 million, yet they seem to produce world champions left, right, and centre, from Keke Rosberg to Hakkinen to Räikkönen. And in sim racing or F1 racing, it always seems to be the Dutch that seem to be doing the magic. You look at Bono 215 FSR World Championships over Dyking. That country's only got a population of around 6 million. And you've got an incredible football team, and people who can seem to. Look at Max Verstappen as well.
I don't even know.
Sim racing as well.
I don't even know that Dom was from Denmark, because he speaks good English.
Not Denmark. I said Dutch.
Oh,
Netherlands.
Dutch. Sorry.
4.2 is the gap. I think it might just be a bridge too far with 2 laps to go, but he's still pushing. Or maybe Kev's thought, oh, maybe it better just turn up the fuel a little bit. It's getting a bit too hot in the oven for the championship leader. Dom's locking up and pushing very hard. He's gone wide there.
GT5 King still behind Dave the Hart.
And Dave the Hart, fantastic defensive drive, and at the moment 3.8's the gap. Dom with another lock up.
Try to see if Kev's on a prime tyre, so even though he's got Dom's got the option tyre on, when it's worn down it'll give you the lap times of a worn prime tyre as well. So,
but don't forget as well, Kev's only been on those tyres for 6 laps, so the pace is in the tyres. 3.8 the gap as they make into the final lap of the race. Dom's been on the options a lot longer and they go off quicker, so theory tells us that his tyres should be more worn than Kev's, even though they are the faster tyre. But at the moment, still seems to be working out there, still seems to be keeping the heat and
you can
doing
see
fairly well.
Bit of graining on Dom's tyre, you don't see too much.
He's looked after him. About 3.4 is the gap, but there's only about 2.5 miles left. Unless Kev makes a mistake, I think Kev's going to hang on here. It does make for a bit of an interesting conclusion to proceedings here in Russia for the World Championship part. Of course, World Series tomorrow.
You will be on air for that at 7:30 as well.
Join Dave, Steve and Ray for that one. Sorry, the cat got me tongue then. I do apologise. Even though we've been sitting here and keep an eye on GT5 King, who's still behind Dav the Half as they enter the final lap. No drivers have been lapped. I'll let you take it from here to get Kev across the line.
Yep, Kev's coming over, coming to the last corner, hits apex nicely. Oh, he's showboating round the corner. Now we have got Dom, he's straight round the line. Front row racing DP, still, he was 32 seconds behind Kev when he crossed the line, so he's just hitting that. I think it's the final sector.
This is interesting. Steve is slowing down in 4th, and these two, Dav the Half and GT5 King, are catching him rapidly.
Has he got a puncture?
All three. all three are on the back straight. The gap between 4th and 6th is about just over a second. But they're catching Steve rapidly. This could be interesting. From after half, Nick 4th.
Has Steve got a puncture? I can't see it. That was. Yeah.
He's not turning into corners the right way, but after half blood here. 2 corners to go. This could be side by side across the line here. I think Steve may just hang on. No, it's going to be close. Stop into the wall. Does go across the line in 5th. Wow, that was a good end to the race.
Oh, so there we have it. Kev 1st place, 2nd place Dom, and Front Row Racing DP in 3rd. What an end there at the end of the back 3 drivers there. I'll just have to invite the top 3 in. Are you ready to give them the questions?
Yep.
Yep.
I'll do that. You go. This is private, you have to invite them, won't you?
Yep. So there we go, there's the race results. Kev 1st place, 2nd Overdye King, 3rd place Front Row Racing DP, 4th Front Row Racing GP, 5th Dave the Harp, he still kept it there even though he hit the wall, 6th GT5 King, and then we've got the...
Lewis Hamilton's cameo into the race, finished 7th.
Yeah, Jamie James 8th, the ones that didn't finish. Oh look at that, we made up places and we were just sitting there. I'll just invite the drivers in, so the viewers, you will get a blue screen for a couple of minutes until the drivers come in. Invite. Now, Overdye King, Front Row Racing and Kev. I'll just probably take a couple of minutes for the guys to receive the invites and then join us. There's 2 of them, we're just waiting on Overdye King coming in. You're live on air, please do not swear guys. And please make sure you've got your microphone or chat lobby set to share. Okay, just waiting on Overdye King coming in. Oh, and here he is. Oh, Overdye King, just please do not swear and make sure you've got your microphone set to share. And I'll let the boy 5 times continue on.
It's good to be here, of course, and we'll start as always with the race winner Kev. Kev, you have taken another 10 points out of your teammates. You lead by 19 points. Stayed out of trouble today. How did your race go?
Well, the race went alright, obviously, but the car didn't feel very good. Probably lack of warm-up time because I was late home coming from work, but there you go. I think Stocky probably would have took the win tonight if he didn't disconnect.
Yeah, it was
just a bit slidey, a bit slippy everywhere. Wasn't on the brakes very well. Didn't feel great, but yeah, it was enough to get the win. Good, which is good.
Yeah, we noticed the first 5 laps of the race you were struggling and Stocky managed to pull the gap when you had pressure from Dom as well, and it made for an interesting watch, but the tyres came up to temperature and we noticed as well, because we didn't know what the strategy of the drivers was, we thought, well, you're definitely doing 2 stops because you put another set of options on. How did the prime tyre feel out there today? We noticed that a lot of guys didn't stay on it for very long.
Yeah, it's because it's about 1.5 seconds slower, 2 seconds slower a lap, but a one set of options is just as fast as a new set of primes within, pretty close anyway. So we just decided to stay on the primes as least as possible, because the options are quicker at the start of the stint, so that's the only reason. It was a bit like last year's game where you used to do nothing on the primes.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll come back to you in a second. Dominic Overdyking, fantastic second place. You had a quali ban, avoided all the stuff of the first lap, found yourself in 3rd and eventually finished 2nd. How was it out there?
Well, I have to say, after a somewhat controversial quali ban, I think we did well to get 2nd anyway in the race. It's very unfortunate for Stocky to disconnect because, I do believe that he would have gotten up to the podium in front of us. Yeah, it was a bit of a weird start because apparently on the stream it seems like I took James out, but then James said he lagged as hell. So yeah, we'll have to see what happened at the start. Because apparently I ran James out while James was next to me on track, so that's quite weird. But yeah, we managed to get a very good start. The plan was to start on the prime tyres, but the game wouldn't let us start on the prime, so that left us on the option tyres. And we got up to 3rd quite quickly because Dave and Bartman obviously had quite a bit of an incident. So yeah, well that made the way free for us. And in the first stint the pace wasn't really there because the car didn't feel really that good. And then I decided to get the primes out of the way as quick as possible, just do a few laps on them. The primes felt even worse. And in the last stint we started to get the feeling with the car, and the car felt really nice in that last stint, and we were able to close the gap down from Kev to 10 to 3 seconds, so that was quite good. But yeah, Kev anyway, well done on the win. And,
you actually helped me out as well, Dom, because I was asked by Ray before the race started what's your top 3, and I actually picked you top 3, even though you had a quali ban. So thank you for making my prediction come true. I did have Dave to win, but I still picked you 3 to be the top 3. So Dom, you made my prediction come true, so thank you for that. I mean, notice you had a little bit of an incident. Your second stop, you missed the pit lane, and you had to carry on another lap.
Yeah, I know. I was going for the undercut on Kev by pitting lap 16, and then we braked a bit too late because we wanted to pick the tyres. I was busy picking the tyres, and then I was like, oh shit, I have to brake. And we went over the line, and then we had to do another lap. So yeah.
Regardless, it was still, whether the quali ban was controversial or not, regardless, it was a fantastic race, and congratulations on your 2nd place. Dave, where do we start? First lap, calamities, but I can imagine you're still pleased with the podium.
Yeah, I am. I mean, first lap had a good start. I was expecting to get swamped into turn 2. Didn't turn out that way, but what we did see is wheels flying past the car as we're going around turn 2, so that was a bit off-putting. But what was the real killer was, I think it was on about the corner before the 2nd DRS. I'm on the menus telling it to put it into rich, and it just wouldn't go. It just stayed in lean, so on the exit of the corner, Stocky's just driven past me like I'm not there. And because of that, Kev's then up alongside me to the final corner, give him a bit of room, he goes through, Barman tries to follow him, give him room, and then it looked like he just seemed to go straight on. Next thing I know, we're both in the wall, and it's a whole lap with no front wing, and from there it was like, right, okay, we've got no other option than go for the equivalent of a one stop to try and get back in it. So yeah, that was the pretty much the race then. Once I got up into 4th and saw Stocky was no longer in the race, it's like, okay, we can get on the podium, we'll get lucky with that. And then I was, okay, I could perhaps help Kev out with some advice or not. If Dom beats him, I don't lose as many points, but if Kev wins, Williams win. It's alright, okay. I mean, because you mentioned about tyres, so it's like, yeah, use those options and cover anyone that's on a one stop, and you would go and win the race.
Yeah, and you done well regardless to finish 3rd, and you minimised the damage probably as best you could, so well done on your 3rd place. Kev, in conclusion, 4 races to go, you think you can hang on?
I mean, well, hopefully, yeah. Why not? It'd be good to get another point to the championship tables, so yeah, it'd be good.
So, really quickly, just for Kevin, Dave, I last interviewed in Malaysia and I asked a question regarding the team. Now that the constructors are sewn up and that's out the way and it is a straight fight between you two for the championship, are the gloves off? Or are we going to see undercuts that are not spoken about and things like that? Is the controversy that I talked about at the start of the season finally going to happen?
My microphone suddenly stopped working next week.
Oh,
I still have a chance, innit? So I'm still in.
Who does Dom?
Yeah,
Mathematically, yeah.
You never know what happens in the last 4 races, innit?
That's very
Well,
true.
you never
That's very
know,
true.
yeah.
You've got 100 points and you are 87 behind. So,
Well, still on for it then, Dom.
you're still on for the Dom. Any dirty tricks? Are you going to employ Jamie James to do some Williams bashing?
Well, I have to say today that, of course, Jamie James was taken out in turn 1 and he helped me out beautifully during the race, and he did quite a lot of commentary himself during his stream and during my stream. I'd like to thank Connor as well and Jeff for helping me out during the race, and Connor as well. So, yeah, they helped me a lot with the strategy, especially Connor. It was really good with the tyre strategy compared to Kev. So I'd like to thank him for that one. And yeah, well, maybe I'll put Jamie James in a different sort of team role. Indeed, Williams bashing, yeah. I think that might be a good teammate for next team name for next year. Williams bashing hashtag. Yeah, I might think about that. Thank you, Peter.
But yeah, well, that's all the questions I've got. Once again, congratulations to you three, and you know, I hope to be around more for some of these FRR races.
Come on, Peter. Come on, Peter.
Now that the FSR season is over. But yeah, well done. That's it from me.
Well done, guys, and for our viewers, if you tune in tomorrow about 7:30, we'll have the World Series here at Russia as well, and that should be a great race to watch. And then on Friday we have the FRRIDs League or Cup, and that starts at 7:30 as well.
I bet you that one's not got a very good turnout with it being Russia.
You'd be surprised, to be honest. We've actually got what looks like is going to be a full lobby of FRR days drivers. The interest of drivers over the last few weeks has gone up quite well. So anyway, quick answer to Pete's question though, in all honesty, I don't think there'll be any sneaky tactics from the Williams side. At the end of the day, one of us will probably win the title, whichever one it is, they'll deserve it. There'll be no sneaky tactics, I don't think.
No, apart from this glitch setup I got off Dan Epps, but...
Share it.
I'm only joking.
Sneaky tactics was the wrong word to use, but what I'm trying to say is that you know there's a title on the line, whichever way you try and wash it, and you two are battling for that title. But go back to Real F1 1986 when it was predicted that either PK or Mansell were going to win it, and neither of them ended up winning it because they just got in each other's way. Is that what you're trying to avoid while still trying to beat each other?
Yeah, we won't be slowing each other up. I mean, if I'm slower around one chat than Dave and he can say Dom's in first, I'll say to Dave, right, go for it, get him, because I'm not going to get him, so. But if it was just me and him, and if just me and Dave at 1-2 in the race, then there would be a race. So, yeah, there you go.
Right, there you heard it from the drivers. Thank you for watching and tuning in, and thank you to the drivers for the racing and turning up, because without the drivers we wouldn't have the league, and without the viewers we wouldn't have the publicity, or the, you know what I'm getting at. So thank you everyone, and we'll catch you tomorrow at 7:30.
Yeah, well done, Kev. Thank you, Peter. Anyway.
Cheers, Dan. Well done, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.